welcome back to Travel with Hannah. Today I'm going to be talking about the most recent vacation that I went on, and that was to Sandals Royal Barbados. It was super amazing. So this was my first time actually staying at a Sandals. I went and visited this resort maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I was on a cruise. I just got a day pass and did a site inspection and checked it out. And I always said I'd be back someday, so I was super happy that I got the opportunity to go. To sum it up in one word, I'd probably say wow. I have very little negative things to say. It's exactly what I expected the Sandals experience to be like. So for those of you that don't know, Sandals is the top rated 5-star adults only luxury accommodations. They have them all throughout the Caribbean. So this one is only about 15-20 minutes or so from the airport. And the first side, so the regular side, opened up in 2015, and then they opened up the Royal side in 2017. So there's 2 side-by-side resorts, but if you stay at one, you can play at both. So I'll go into that a little bit later. In total, there's about 500 rooms, give or take, and it's on 14 acres. So there are 2 sides. One is the regular side and one is the Royal side. They're very similar. The main difference that I would say between the 2 of them would just be the rooms themselves. So on the Royal side, all rooms are suites and they're much more updated and more modern than the other side. But like I mentioned, you can stay at one and play at 2. So between the 2 resorts, there's actually over 20 restaurants, 14 bars, 11 pools. Some are more on the quiet end of things and some are more the party atmosphere, if that's what you're looking for. And there's 5 whirlpools. And also, which is one of my favorites, is the rooftop pool. So they have a pool and a rooftop hot tub, and it's all infinity. It's absolutely beautiful. There's a couple different places that you can stay within the resort. So they're all named something a little bit different based on their location. There's the Caribbean Village, Crystal Lagoon, Beachfront Village, and there's the South Seas Village, which is the newest side. They all have a little bit different vibes to them. In certain room categories, they actually pick you up in a Rolls Royce from the airport, which is pretty cool. All airport transfers are included when you book them as a package, but if you book the butler rooms or the elite rooms, they come with the fancy Rolls Royce pickup. The perk of being able to stay at one but play at 2 is you have so many options. Like I said, there are so many different restaurants and bars, and the activities are also all shared too. So there's beach volleyball, and they have outdoor chess, and they actually have a bowling alley, which is a first for Sandals on site. I think there's 4 lanes in there in total. It's called Lover's Lane. It's really cute. And also something that we did not get to do, unfortunately, because we were only there for 3 nights, but they offer a snorkeling excursion all included. So they pick you up at the hotel and they drive you to where the boat takes off, and it's somewhere near Bridgetown. So it's a little bit of a drive, like 15-20 minutes. And then they take you on a snorkeling excursion for a couple hours. They take you to see the turtles and a shipwreck, I believe. So we had done that before we had gotten to Sandals before our cruise, but it is all included. But I highly suggest that you book early upon check-in, because it does book up quickly. As for our room, we were in the same building as the Sky Bar and the La Parisienne restaurant. I'm not sure the number off by heart, but I'll put a picture in of my actual room number. I'm not sure the name of the building, but it was fantastic. So we just had a basic lead-in room with the tub on the outside, and now we were on the Royal side. The room was super beautiful and elegant. They had a lot of small details that I really appreciated. So where the shower was, and you could move the photo if you wanted to be able to see through to the shower or not. Their mini bar was super great. It always had top shelf alcohol in it, and they had champagne and a fruit tray waiting for us when we got there. And on the glass doors that go outside to where your tub is, they have little stickers on there, and it's of the flying fish, which Barbados is known for. So that was a kind of cute detail that they had. And I really love the tub outside on the balcony. They had privacy curtains that you could pull across. It was nice to be able to relax on your balcony. So the food, we'll start there. So the food was absolutely amazing. My expectations were super high because people do pay a lot of money to go to these resorts, and the reviews are so good, and they harp on 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, that they're the best rated. So I really had very high expectations, and it did not disappoint. My favorite meal was at Butch's Steakhouse. It was absolutely phenomenal. Of course, it's all included, all inclusive, and it was amazing. It was one of the best steaks I've ever had in my entire life. kimonos. Had a great little area you could sit around and you meet new people, and they had the fire while they were cooking all the meals, so that was really nice, and the food was fantastic. Another one of my favorites was actually the donut shop. They always had freshly baked goods, and they had donuts obviously, but they also had like brownies and croissants and other little pastries there that were super good. And one thing I noticed is there's lots of options for snacks between meals. So if you get hungry between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner, or late night, there's always lots of options to choose from, which is great for me because I love my food. One thing I will say though about the specialty dining is do book in advance. So I recommend doing it upon check-in because it was super booked. It was hard to get a spot to get into Bush's. But one good thing again about having the two resorts side by side is they actually have a Butch's on each side. So one is just Butch's Steakhouse and one is Butch's steakhouse and seafood, but they both have seafood. So it's great that way. You have more opportunity to be able to get a reservation. But for all the other ones, I do recommend checking in advance. I noticed on the menu too, they had lots of options for people that do have dietary restrictions. And they had options too. They had like smoothie bars, and they had restaurants that catered more towards like healthy eating. So there were lots of things. I feel like everybody has lots of options at this resort. One spot I also recommend making a reservation for is La Parisienne. So we only went for breakfast. I'm not big on French cuisine in general, but we did go there for breakfast. It was absolutely beautiful. The rooftop, it's up by where the Sky Bar is, and the infinity pool, so it's in our building, but we went up there early for breakfast one morning, and it was just so nice to be able to look out over the rooftop. For drinks, there's lots of variety. Again, it's all made with Top Shelf, which is great, and the room has Top Shelf alcohol stocked in the mini bar, and they check that twice a day, so they were always on top of that. I found each restaurant had signature drinks every day, which was kind of cool, so it gave you different things to try. They were catered towards kind of what the restaurant was and the flavors that they use, so it gave you different drinks to try that you never would have thought to have tried before. So as for entertainment, we didn't stay out super late or party a ton, but there are options for that if you'd like to do so. From what I've heard, the Sky Bar up there in the evening can get pretty lively. The entertainment that we did see, I wasn't overly impressed with. So we were looking more at the main stage area. They had a beautiful like fireplace there, limited seating. So that was a little bit disappointed about, so we didn't stay super long because it was standing room only. But I found mostly what we had seen anyway, was mostly the staff trying to get visitors up to dance or to teach them dancing or a game show sort of vibe. So it really wasn't them putting on the entertainment. It was more the guests there being entertainment for everybody else. So I mean, if that's the type of thing you're looking for, then great. But I was more looking for a show to watch and be entertained by. But I will say they did have some great music going on in the evening. So when you're walking around going to dinner, they had people playing piano throughout the resort. So it was nice and relaxing. So that was really nice to see. The beach, it was absolutely beautiful. It's one of the nicest beaches I have seen. The sand is just so white and powdery, it doesn't even look real. One thing I will say though is it's very windy. So the sand does blow around, so it's good to get some chairs with an umbrella, kind of helps deflect the sand a little bit. And they did have a breakwater there, so it did help a lot with the waves. Without that, it would have been really choppy out there for swimming. As for seaweed, there was hardly any, which was super great. They kept the beach pristine, and then there was a little bit in the water, but you're in the ocean. It's expected. No problem getting chairs. They always had lots of chairs available, and they had lots of umbrellas, which was great. And the service came right down to the beach chairs, so you didn't have to worry about trying to flag someone down for a drink. As for people selling goods, like bracelets and watches or sunglasses or whatever, they weren't allowed close up to the chairs, so that was nice. Now there were some young gentlemen that stood just outside that line trying to get people to buy stuff from them, but most of the time they were shooed away by Sandals staff, which is great because I just want to relax when I'm on the beach. They do have an evening where you can go, they set up vendors tables so you can walk through and then you can check out their goods, their bracelets, their necklaces, their wooden statues and signs and things that they make. So that's a great opportunity to do that. They do offer free photo shoots. So when they say free, the shoot itself is free. There's no charge for that. All you have to do is set up an appointment. The photo shoot was super awesome. Guy that did ours was super great, and they're not pushy at all to buy the photos either. So like I said, the shoot is free, but the photos are not. So if you'd like to purchase your photos, I think we paid around 30 US, and that was for a digital copy, or you could pay, I think it was maybe like 25, and then you just get a photocopy, but I prefer to have the digital copy. So it was a fun thing to do in the evening, to get dressed up and get some pictures taken, and then if you like one or two, you can buy them. And they also offer packages too if you'd want to buy a bunch of them. So my experience overall was super great. I found the check-in very personalized, and they made you feel welcome, like you were coming home. And I had never really stayed there before, but they give you that warm feeling as soon as you walk in. So that was super nice to see. And we were early, so they did our best to be able to accommodate us and make us comfortable while we were waiting for check-in. And I love the signature drink that they had in the check-in area too. It's only available there, and it was really tasty. Overall service was super fantastic. There was one instance when we went to Neptune's. It was our first night there. We went for dinner. I did find it quite slow. I want to say we were there for an hour and a half, maybe, waiting for food. So it was super slow, but it was just a one-off for us. Otherwise, everything was absolutely amazing. The highlights for me that made this resort above and beyond, stand out from the rest. One thing was the rooftop pool. So it was Sandals' first rooftop pool, and they had it's infinity, and it has the jacuzzi there. They have lots of seating. They have a bar right there. The views are spectacular. That was one of my favorite parts about the entire resort. That's where we spent a lot of our time. And I'm normally a beach girl, but I really love that pool. There's a nice breeze up there, and it's quiet. It was very much my speed. Another really awesome pool was the beachside one. They had an infinity edge pool, so it was all clear around, and it was over the edge, and it was absolutely beautiful, steps away from the beach, so you could actually look at the ocean while you're sitting in the pool. And they had little floaties that said Sandals on them. You could lay down on them and float around in the pool. I wish they had a few more because they were super popular, but it was nice to relax there and look out at the ocean while you're in the pool. Another thing that really made this resort stand out from the rest was the food. The food quality was amazing. Everything I had was 10 out of 10. There's nothing that I had that I was like, oh, like this isn't good. I loved everything. And another nice little touch that they had is when you leave and you're going on the bus, they sing you a little goodbye song, which I thought was a super nice touch. So the big question is gonna be, is it worth the money? So for me, I think absolutely. Once you go to Sandals, you really do see the difference in the caliber of the service and the quality of the food and the quality of the drinks and the rooms and just the grounds themselves. The grounds were absolutely immaculate. The rooms were immaculate. I have zero complaints. So for me personally, I do think it is worth the money, and it is worth that extra. Like, you get what you pay for. Like, added luxury is definitely worth it in my opinion. Would I go back to this resort? Absolutely. I loved it. I had a great time. The beach is absolutely stunning. The people in Barbados are super friendly. And there are lots of things to do outside of the resort too. I can't wait to check out some other Sandals resorts in the near future. So the answer is yes, absolutely. I would go back. Thanks for watching Traveling with Hannah. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment down below which sandals you think I should go to next. Thanks, guys.